live video. You guys know that it is fall when I can start doing lives again because in the middle of the day. Because typically, like if it's summertime or if I have a lot of coaching, a lot of camps, you will not see me. So now you guys know that my life has calmed down and I'm ready to start making content again. How are you guys doing? I'm doing okay. My summer was kind of chaotic. Um, and yeah, we've just been dealing with a lot over here. Thank God most of it seems to be settling down, but we were dealing with a lot. And so it was just honestly really hard to film when there are other things to focus on, like things that are more pressing, obviously. So I'm glad that, of course, things are always working out. But yeah, we traveled this summer. We actually went to Cabo twice, which is our favorite place to go. Went to Cabo twice, and then I had to go to, I went to Oregon to support some of my athletes for a track meet. Um, and so I just really wasn't able to just like be on here. And then I started my camps over the summer, and that was that. So now I'm back in the fall swing of things, which basically means I only do like coaching during the day, like online coaching, and then I coach my athletes in the afternoon. So my mornings are more free. Like this morning, I was able to wake up late, which I haven't done for the first time in like, I don't know, 6 months. And I was able to wake up, went to the gym, then I read my Bible, and I was like, oh, we got time today, So it was great. And that was really nice. I really need to do my edges, but I don't know where my edge control is. Girl, I forgot. I think I put it in the other room. But you know what? We just have to make it work because I'm not leaving. We're going to do this live. Okay. So what are we talking about today, you guys? We are talking about the art of detachment. And I want to talk about in two different scenarios, like life in general, and then of course you guys know health and fitness because I am Joanna Joy Fitness, right? So firstly, I want to talk about there's this there's a golfer, and I can't remember his name, but he was talking about how he basically doesn't care about winning because at the end of the day, it's his family that matters. And it got me thinking about a lot of the athletes and then like my friends and clients who are working and they're saying oh, I love my job, and all of a sudden their job becomes their whole world, and how actually the art of detachment helps you become more successful. And we know this through sports psychology. Like I've done a little bit of studying of sports psychology because I do work with athletes. So one of the things that they talk about in sports psychology quite a bit is this idea that when you detach from the outcome. So you don't go into a match thinking that you're going to win or lose. You just worry about the process. Then you actually perform better, because sometimes you get paralysis by analysis by focusing so much by focusing so much on the outcome that you actually can't perform. And we know that athletes perform best in their flow state, which is when they're not thinking so much and they just kind of let the rhythms happen. So one thing that I often do with my clients is say, I need you to focus on one thing. So my clients who are athletes, I'm like, focus on one thing. I don't care about anything else, just one thing. Instead of being like, am I going to win? Am I going to lose? What are people thinking? Then you're thinking and you're not actually playing, or you're not actually running, or you're not actually hitting, because I have some softball kids too, or tennis, right? So learning how to detach from the outcome is actually really good with life. When I first started my business, one of the things that a business coach told me was that people are not necessarily buying your skill and your talent. They are, but not always. Sometimes they're buying into your energy. So people do not like desperate people. Okay? Desperation is cheap labor. It's cheap energy. People do not like that feeling of someone who's desperate. Think about it. Ladies who are desperate, don't you find that it's like ick, right? You're like, ugh, I don't want you around me because it It's like, do you actually value me, and do you actually care about my progress, or do you just want to make money? So it comes across as very ick and and disingenuous as well. So when I first started my business and I left teaching, I said, this business coach told me, hey, you need to really be focusing on, okay, how am I going to develop my business with the clients that I have? How am I engaging with them so that they want to tell other people about me? Not just, am I getting more business, and not accepting everybody and everything. Because one thing that I used to do is I'd be like, I don't care about who I'm working with, pay me whatever price you want to. And I'm like, no, I'm out here slaving away for people who are then manipulating you, or it's just not worth it sometimes, right? So I detach myself from the outcome of, I need to make money. That was very hard. So I want to be honest, that's really hard to detach yourself from making money, because we have to live. And I was broke when I left teaching, okay? Like, I didn't have money in my bank account. So that was really hard for me to hear from a coach saying, hey, you need to stop, detach yourself from the money and just focus on the process of becoming a better coach and coaching with the people that you do have. That turned out to work really well. And even now, my husband tells people this all the time when like new real estate agents are talking to him. He's like, hey, you guys, you have to get yourself in a mindset where you are not coming across as desperate to people, because people don't like feeling that from you. It doesn't feel, it's suffocating. So stop suffocating people with your desperation, right? So detachment is really key in that way. Number two, let's talk about at your job. Okay, this was something that I realized because I work with a lot of women who are in corporate. Okay, and if there's one thing I realize, I'm like, corporate does not like you to be successful in like better than everyone else. They actually don't like that at all. They want you to be very much mediocre. They do not want you to be obsessed with your job. A lot of people who are obsessed with their job and they're very focused, that's their only, sort of thing in life, they're married to their job, they never get promotions. They never get the promotion. They're the person who says yes to everything. They're the person who's always around, and they wonder why they never get the job. And it's because detachment is the key to success. People, you're like, it doesn't make logical sense though. This is the person who would like do anything for this company. Yeah, but people don't. People want to know that you're human. People want to know that you have other things going on outside of your job, because they don't want you to micromanage them. That's a real fact that people don't want to talk about. So a lot of times why these people are not getting promoted is because you're not going to let the natural flow of work happen, right? Because you're so focused and you're so attached and you're so involved. People like detachment. They really do. They love that you care, but not too much. You guys have all been there. Like, if you worked in any kind of corporate setting, you know what I'm talking about. People do not like to be micromanaged. And if you're someone who is super attached to your job, the likelihood is that you're going to micromanage people. And people, honestly, like, they don't want to be that attached to their job. So one of the things, you guys know I was a teacher for 12 years. And one of the things I wish someone had told me earlier, which I tell all teachers now, because I don't bash the teaching profession. Like, it takes a whole different, I just don't think I had the right tools, and I think that I was meant to be doing what I'm doing now. But I tell teachers now all the time, you need to detach from your job, because what will happen is you will burn out because you are spending all this time, effort, and energy trying to be like an amazing teacher. And a lot of times these kids don't care and their parents don't care. And so you burn yourself out because you spent your weekends at the, I was gonna say at the track, in the classroom with, trying to come up with some lesson plan that people don't like, the kids don't care about, the parents don't care about. And so you want to be careful about this being super attached to your job. When I was a teacher, I realized, you know what? I was actually a better teacher when I wasn't spending 12 hours a week in the class. 12 hours a day in the classroom. I felt great. even sometimes I let things kind of slide because I was like, I cannot, I'm actually nicer because if I'm so attached to where I'm like, I made this lesson plan, you guys better love it, you better enjoy it, I'm on edge. And nobody, not even, it's not good for the kids. You can be the worst one, but if you're a cool person, you'll stay longer. That is a fact. This is why people like the cool person. This is why the cool person gets hired over the person who works hard and the person who's super focused. Because it's people don't care about that. Like that doesn't work. They're like, yes, but you don't, you become their worker bee. So they keep you in a position where you can do all this work for them and they go and enjoy their lives because you can't be front facing. They don't want someone who can't communicate and who doesn't have things to talk about to be front facing. They don't. I'm sorry, but you're not in a good position to be working with other people because they don't know if you know when to pull back and when to come forward. They don't know. So they prefer the person who is more detached from their job. That person typically is the person who comes in, he's like, hey bro, what's up guys? Like, yeah, you guys would be on my fantasy team. And you're like, how did this dude get promoted over me? Because, or let's use a female example because sometimes men get promoted over women because they're men. But let's use a girl example. She's like, hey everybody, I'm having a party at my house and blah, blah. And they're like, they just love that. Like, oh, she's just cool. She's someone who doesn't, her job's not her whole world. So yeah, that really does matter. But back to my example about teaching, I had to just let it go. And I tell teachers all the time, please have a life outside of teaching because what happens is you burn out. So if your life is your entire job, you will burn out because 24/7 you're thinking about your job. 24/7 you're thinking about your career. You're thinking about what the kids are doing, what your next lesson plan is. And by the time you think about it 1,000 times, you're burnt out. You hate it because number one, you're also attached to because you're so obsessed with what you've done, you're also obsessed with the outcome. It used to bother me so much when I would work on a lesson plan super hard and the kids wouldn't even care. But I spent all this time and energy being like, oh, is this the best lesson? And I'm gonna accommodate all these different learning styles and I'm gonna do X, Y. And I'm like, and then the kids would hate it. Or not learn, or it wasn't the best strategy for them. And then I would beat myself up about it. Like, no. Detach yourself from your job. And I think this is the skill that the older generation actually did really well at. Because I think we have this idea, I know my generation has this idea that you're supposed to love your job. And if you love your job, you are like all about it. But for a lot of people in the older generation, they simply worked and came home. Like their work wasn't taken home with them. Obviously, they didn't have computers and they weren't expected to be on email all the time. But yes, now people are starting to realize, wait a minute, I'm losing the amount of women, you guys, who are losing their hair, they have autoimmune diseases, they have high blood pressure, diabetes, because they spend all day at their job and it's their entire world, is so high, it's actually very scary. And so, and the crazy thing is that they're not getting promoted for it. They're not getting necessarily more pay for it. It's like, is the pay commensurate with the amount of work you're doing? Probably not. Right? So when you detach, the other thing is that nobody cares. You will realize that nobody else cares. In fact, they're happy for you because you're a happier person when you go into work. So you have to detach from, from your job, detach from needing to be the best person at your job in an obsessive way. Like we love a high performer. You guys know that if you've been here for a long time, we love a high performer, but high performers have their place and you have to learn how to pull that in and pull that back because you will simply just get trampled over because people just don't care. And so yeah. Hold on, my eyelashes. Okay. Next thing I wanted to talk about is there is so much freedom in detachment, you guys. There's so much freedom. The only place you really shouldn't be detached is in your marriage and relationships, okay? Detached, okay? There's freedom in detachment. When I talk to my health and fitness clients about detachment, it typically involves becoming detached from the scale, again, detach from the outcome. Because what I see with a lot of people is that they'll get on a fitness journey, right? And it's all about they're counting their macros, they're counting their steps, they're counting their water, they're measuring themselves. And they're so focused on, okay, did this work? Did it work? And it's like, maybe it didn't work in 3 days. Maybe it didn't even work in a week. But because you're so attached to the outcome, you can't even do this for long enough to see if it really works. Because a lot of times the truth is that it takes months to see like significant results in fitness. It takes months, but because we are so focused on results, did I lose weight this week? Did it? And this is something that I've been working on in my coaching personally is one of the things I've been working on personally is helping my clients get out of that mindset and really try and transition into, let me just enjoy the process. Let me enjoy just being fit and healthy by design, not whether or not I'm going to lose weight. Because to be honest with you guys, the weight will come. For some people, it's going to come quickly. It's going to come quickly off. But for others, it's going to be slow. It's going to be slow. The time passes anyway. And so it's like, okay, are you going to sit there and be mad because the scale only budged 0.2 pounds? Or are you going to just put the scale away and say, I'm just going to do this and live a healthy lifestyle and see how my body changes in a year? Just see how your body changes in a year. Not 6 months, not 3 months, but a year. Be around long enough to and be consistent with the goal long enough to see the results from a year. Because that's real, like that's a real time change. I am no longer a fan of the time change of like 3 months or 6 months for anything. I think if you really want to see progress in any area, it needs to be for a year. Like do something for a year and see how your life changes, because we've gotten in this Amazon Prime era where we want things to happen so quickly and we think that like focusing on it more will actually make it happen faster, and that's not true. Do the 10 things you're supposed to do at your job and then move on and let the chips fall where they may. When I remember when I started doing YouTube, somebody said, set it and forget it on your YouTube videos. Just don't overthink, what is my topic? How am I going to do this? No, just talk about what you want to talk about. Have an outline, set it and forget it. Do not hyper focus, because then you're going to be like, oh, I lost a follower. Oh, it went back up. Oh, it went back down. And your emotions are like this because you're so attached. You guys ever met somebody who's like that? Where like, man, it's exhausting. You guys ever met somebody where everything bothers them? Like they are so quickly, like their mood is so quickly shifted based on what happens in their life. Like they are so attached, or based on what happens at their job, they are so intently focused on that. Have you guys ever met somebody like that? Aren't they exhausting? Isn't it exhausting? Because you're like, dang, you go through 500 emotions in a day. Like you are not steady at all. And that's the problem with not being detached, is that you don't have any stability emotionally, right? You want to be stable, emotionally stable. And one of the things you can do is detach. And that means a true detachment. And, I'm a Christian. So true detachment for me really means that like I actually trust God. So I'm like, okay, well, no, I'm going to do what I need to do. And then I'm going to just leave this up to God. I'm not going to sit up here and worry about it and put my time and energy into it and be like, oh, there's something. No, that is real detachment for me. For other people, that may look different, right? But for me, once I have done my part and I give it to God, I'm not worried about it. I'm not spending my time and energy all day focusing on something, ruminating on the same thing over and over again, and overthinking the same thing over and over again. Girl, detach. Just remove yourself emotionally from it. Remove yourself emotionally and go, I'm going to work. I'm going to go home. I'm not going to think about my job. The first time I remember that I found this to be acceptable, I had a supervisor And I was like, oh, I sent you an email yesterday. And she goes, oh, was it after 5 o'clock? And I said, yeah. She goes, oh yeah, I don't check my email after 5 o'clock. And this was like groundbreaking in the world of education because everybody responds all the time. And she goes, oh yeah, I don't answer my emails after 5 o'clock. And she was still working. Nobody fired her. And it was just this idea that it'll be fine if it gets done tomorrow. Like everything's not an emergency. I am detached from my job that allows me to live my life outside of that. And again, when you do that, your life is better, which means you actually perform your job better because you don't hate it as much because you've taken some time away from it. And I know this sounds impossible for a lot of people, and it usually takes rock bottom. So usually my clients are people, they're having to take extra time off of work, or now they're going to therapy because they can't believe that this thing, and they've applied for this job and they're devastated. And I'm like, I know I've been telling you this, but it always takes like an internal issue or rock bottom before people realize that you have to detach. Stop trying so hard. Do have your checklist for whatever it is that you want to do. If you have work, if you have a YouTube channel, if you have a business, all of the things that I've done, right? Have a checklist, set it and forget it. Do your checklist, set it and forget it. Don't waste your precious time and energy focusing on that. And then go live your life. Go take care of your body. If you have, if you're on a fitness journey, detach from the scale. Okay, did I walk my steps today? Did I walk my 5 miles, which the American Heart Association says is great for your heart? Did I walk my 5 miles? Did I meal prep my meals for the next day? Did I drink my water? Am I limiting my sugary sweets? Am I strength training 4 to 5 times a week? Great. I don't need to look at the scale. I just need to keep doing that. I'll check the scale in a year. Because did you guys know it takes 12 weeks for someone else to notice a difference in your body? It takes 12 weeks, particularly if you're living with someone. So minimum, your timeline should be 12 weeks. Minimum. Not week to week, not month to month, 12 weeks. All right, you guys, I gotta go find my gel for my edges. But it was great chatting with y'all. Stay detached, friends. Healthy detachment is good. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share and comment and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.